funded David Brock's book parties. She's into WikiLeaks with all these guys. So this is the reference. American Bridge, 21st century. Soros gives 11K to Comet Ping Pong through the proxy of this, foundation, right? So there's receipts. This is the whole thing. And like I said a couple weeks ago, when Hillary Clinton's IT guy started hacking into my firewall, that's when I stopped playing the game because nobody's like, I don't, my family doesn't have anything to gain from me pursuing that story, right? I'm not a big journalist. I'm not cracking stories. I just wanted to know what was up. And when I get touched like that by the IT person, I went and didn't tweet. I didn't tweet for a long time after that. I continued looking stuff up. I was just more cautious and not talking to people in the open about it, right? But these things are still real because the guy who made this donation just got a Presidential Medal of Freedom. And there's a lot more to that story that hasn't been adjudicated because of Trump derangement syndrome. And when you have TDS and it protects pedophiles, I think it's a problem for more than just one person to deal with. So anyway, Charlie, Activist Post is a place where uncensored conversations and research and these things can be shared, unlike some of those things on Reddit where they're like, oh, you can't talk about that. Sorry, you're not allowed to put an alternative perspective, which is the whole comparison contrast that people need in the first place to make decisions. If we're only shown the propaganda, that's the purpose of censorship. So you don't see anything other than the propaganda. And if there's not an activist post there for 3 to 10% of the population to be like, oh, we see outside the narrative, you don't have safety and security anymore. You need a certain percentage of the population to actually have a clue what's going on and to be able to make actions that add up to freedom sense, right? Not play into the game of tyranny and despotism and, go do something violent because the other side's armed to the teeth, right? They're just waiting for people to do stupid stuff so they can use LRADs on people. You have no idea the crazy technology that they have cooked up to use on anyone who wants to resist their system in certain ways. So you have to be more thoughtful about it. You have to understand they have a game, they have a goal, they have a lot of momentum, and they're 120 years plus into it. So they're not going to change their plans or their personnel anytime soon. So now we know where they're going. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, your right to redress grievances, all these good things they don't want you to have because that would make you too challenging to their plans. And their plans must be anti-freedom. Otherwise, it wouldn't be challenging to you, right? So Activist Post is a way that people can now, in a newer way, right? Because it's been around doing a great job, but it's also had its problems and it didn't have fortifications during those storms. So like Charlie's taking it into port. He's patching up all the storm damage. He's going to bring it out newer, better, and bigger. Or am I speaking too out of turn here, Charlie?
No,
am I assuming too much of you?
we built a brand new website. We built
Bigly.
we built Activist Post from the ground up. I mean, after 15 years, it was heavy. It was not great on mobile. It was not as secure as it could have been. And I said to the guys who worked with me on it, I said, it's got to work on mobile. It's got to fly on mobile, like, because that's where everyone's getting their news. And it's got to be secure because I don't want, Langley trying to peek in there at it. But